Hello everyone, it's Tilly from Tilly Jones. Welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. I am memory planning the week of the 25th of November through to the 1st of December 2024 in my A5 wide Tilly Journal vertical inserts from my shop and a print impression SPC edit planner. I am using this Groovy Christmas kit from Strawberry Lime Designs, who unfortunately is no longer open, and foil wise I am using a foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co in matte gold, matte bronze and rose mixed metal, and also pulling in some elements of a Crest Press rose Christmas foil bundle, but just a few bits and pieces I had in leftovers. For my underlays I am using matte gold from my shop solid underlays, which aren't actually available because I don't offer the matte gold because it doesn't foil particularly well, and on top of those I put some rose, pink rose, I can't remember what I call it, but it's clearly pink. It's not my rose gold, it's pink of some variety, in the flower checkerboards, and I think that really went with like the groovy theme of the kit. I'm using hole protectors from Scribble Prints Co, the solid ones, because I just felt like this kit was my first Christmas kit and wanted to pop out, so I was just like, all the foil. So it is a very foil heavy, and I love how it came out. I have to say, I'm glad in some ways because it means all my Christmas kits are in the December part of my planner, but unfortunately I left a week out of my November planner. When I removed them, I clearly removed a page too many, because I removed them at the beginning of the year, and I just didn't even notice when I started planning that this was not the right, it shouldn't have been in this week. I think I did actually notice before I started filming this week, but it was after I'd filmed the week before, which was on the blank page, so I was just like, oh whatever, I'll just put it in December. But I think it works quite well because it means all my Christmas kits are in the December section, but this week should be in November because there's only one December date in it, but oh well, that's fine. I do want to give a little trigger warning about this video, is that we found out that a close family friend was dying this week, imminently. Yes, there is going to be talk of that. I will probably talk a bit more about it when I get to the day by day. I don't want to talk about it now. I just want to give that trigger warning. If talking about death, dying, etc. is something that you can't listen to, thank you for clicking on this video, and I totally understand. I will see you next week, but there will be a little bit of talk of death next week as well because she actually dies the following week, but yeah, I won't be as much as I'm going to probably talk about it in this week. Yeah, so this isn't going to be the easiest voiceover for me to film, and I'm not feeling the best at the moment. I was actually doing a little bit better, and then I've just had a little bit of a spanner thrown in the works, and I'm just struggling today and yesterday a lot, and then this voiceover isn't going to make that particularly easy, but it is what it is. So that's all of that said. This is also the second time I've filmed the first 10 minutes of this voiceover because I accidentally was recording it but not using the correct microphone, and the sound quality would have been terrible, so I am re-recording it. Isn't that fun? But anyway, let's get on to the books that I finished on my sidebar this week. So I finished 2 books this week. The first one is the last book in the His Dark Materials trilogy, and you'll be glad to hear, I'm sure, that this is the last time I'm going to talk about the His Dark Materials trilogy for a little while. My falling asleep reading is currently Harry Potter, and that's what I will be talking about. I've not actually, at the recording of this video, and it is the 21st of December, I haven't actually finished Philosopher's Stone yet, but I think I will finish that this week, before New Year. So yeah, oh, Happy New Year! This is the second video of 2025. I think I meant to say it, Happy New Year, earlier, but I don't think I actually did. As I say, this is the second voiceover, so I'm getting myself all confused. So I think the first Harry Potter book you're going to hear about is The Chamber of Secrets, though I'm never going to talk about Harry Potter books very much because although they are a comfort read for me, I do not approve of the author. She is transphobic. There are so many problems with her. I will not do anything that gives her money. But yeah, she is the author. So I just, personally, the books have helped me through a lot, so they are still books that I go back to, but I do not want to support the author in any way, shape or form, so I will never talk about them very much. In fact, this is probably the same spiel as you'll get every time that I mention them. But anyway, let's go on to the books I actually did read this week and have actually finished. So the first one is Amber Spyglass, which is the last of the His Dark Materials trilogy. I listen to books that I know to fall asleep as if I'm having a bad day, I will just put that on rather than something new, because I can concentrate on something that I know the story of a bit better. So there's that. So this is the final book, and this trilogy is about Lyra and Will, who are two sort of early teenage kids who essentially go on fantasy adventure, and they are quite dark for middle grade, to be fair. They are technically middle grade, but they are quite dark. We're having this conversation in the Peaches and Pages book group, because we're talking about how much we loved the books after anyway, I'm not going to go into why we were talking about them, but so they're quite dark for a middle grade, but they are very much worth a read, and I think they're good for adults or anybody to read. They're really enjoyable. They don't have the happiest endings, but they're such good books, it's worth it. So yeah, I obviously gave it 5 stars because I do every time, because it is a book I love and will always go back to, therefore it's a 5-star read to me. The other book I finished this week is called You Only Die Twice, and this is an Audible original book that I picked up basically because I needed a book with only in the title for Buzzwordathon, and honestly I did not enjoy this very much at all. I gave it 2.5 stars, which I think was probably quite generous, but it's because it wasn't bad. There was nothing wrong with it. 2.5 means like I didn't enjoy this, but it wasn't terrible, basically. So this is by Brynne Kelly. The His Dark Materials trilogy is by Philip Pullman, by the way. Anyway, so this is about Alice, who helped her friend write a spy novel, but she had no idea when she was helping writing it that it was true. Her friend was dying, and did die, and after the friend died, Alice made up an ending for the book and released it. Because the early events of the book are true, lots of people assume that the rest of it is true, including the bits Alice made up, and there are lots of people trying to hide the truth, and the person that she pinned the murder on is wanting to find out the truth and clear their name. So he turns up in Alice's life, and they go on an adventure to try and find out who did actually do this murder. It's not a long audiobook, but there is a lot in it. There's a lot of talk about sort of genetic family cancer that leads to death, and a lot of talk of death, a lot of backstory to the crime that was committed, as well as a lot of backstory and flashbacks about sort of the friendship that developed and how Alice ended up writing this book. And to be quite honest, I just think this book needed to be a bit longer. It was not longer. Obviously, it was only a 6-hour audiobook. It's not long, and it just doesn't give... There's not enough time for the amount of story there is, really. So you just don't end up very invested, because everything is sort of flowing through it. And it's not that it's like a fast-paced book. It's just there's just too much plot for the length of the book. So there's that. That was my main problem with it, to be honest. And as I said, because I wasn't very invested, it just means that I can't really tell you what I thought of the ending. I know what the ending was and I know how it happened, but I wasn't invested in it. And I just didn't really care. That sounds awful. I wrote my review 2 days after writing it, and I'd finishing reading it and I'd already forgotten, because obviously it's quite a long time after this now. It's the 21st of December when I'm recording this voiceover, so I finished this on the 29th of November, so it's quite a long time since I finished it, but even 2 days later I didn't remember who the murderer was. So I would kind of avoid this book unless it really sounds like exactly your sort of thing. It is a nice cozy mystery, but it's a bit weird, and I would give it a miss. I am now going to get into the day by day because I am still putting boxes down, but that won't take me very long. I did end up switching over my colours because I put down the wrong colours on the wrong day, basically. So I ended up switching out my colours and it worked. So on the Monday, I started off by doing some planner catch-up. I don't know, sorry, who's yawning at you? I don't know why I didn't finish the what words? I don't know why I hadn't touched my planner for a few days, but I hadn't, so I just did some planner catch-up. Then I designed my scripts for the previous week. I like to do that on a Monday. It just gets it done, and I don't not enjoy designing my custom scripts for the week, but I just find it easier if I just get it done. So I do. Then I did some foiling and cutting, probably for my kit lineup, or for, I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, or for orders, plus I'd have printed and cut the scripts as well. Then I had my planner call with my bestie, Sophie. I actually don't think we've had one since then for various reasons. I don't think we've managed one in December. We might have had one, but yeah, it's been a bit all over the place, but we are going to start them back up in January. We've decided just to write off the rest of the month because life is going to be busy, because it's going to be like the 23rd of December and the 30th, so like we're going to have family things on and stuff. Anyway, I then saw my care coordinator from the perinatal team. I'm having a bit of a bad week at the moment, so I'm sorry if like I don't talk so much about stuff and things, because this isn't going to be a particularly easy week to talk about with my family friend, and also I'm struggling with some stuff. Anyway, we'll get into that when it happens in real time, but yeah. So I had my appointment with my care co. I've not marked anything about it, so it's probably just fine. Then I did some editing. I edited a kit lineup, was playing with some lettering, I think, for my 2025 bullet journal setup. I was playing with different letterings I could use. Went for a walk. Then I did some reading admin, which is like writing reviews and stuff like that. Did some actual reading. I was reading the Secret Society, the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which was a really good read. I'll talk more about it next week, but yeah. And then we read To Bump before bed. On to Tuesday, I was at work, and this is when my mum found out that the family friend was very, very poorly and was hospitalised, and they were quite worried about her. I had a long chat with my mum during work, and was like, you need to go up and see her, because yeah, otherwise you're not going to. So she decided she was going to go that evening up to Aberdeen to see her, and I'm really glad she did, because obviously this was the last opportunity to see her. The family friend I've known my entire life, she was one of mum's university friends. My mum was actually one of a group of 3, and both of the other 2 have now died essentially of cancer, but so Gail was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer sort of 7 weeks before this, and then caught an infection and yeah, was hospitalised and very, very poorly and deteriorated, and they stopped treatment. So there was that. Yeah, so I was very sad and in my feelings. When I came home, we did do some reading to Bump. I actually went and baked with my mum because we were going to do it the next day, but she was going to go up to Aberdeen and we really needed to do some baking, and she needed a bit of a distraction, so did I, so we went and did some baking. And then at Guides we were doing mocktails with them, which was good fun, and then my mum and dad went off to Aberdeen because yeah, they'd had a call from the friend's brother that she was doing really badly, and he was told to go up, so they got in the car and left that night. I slept really badly that night, so on to Wednesday I was absolutely knackered. I just slept badly. I got up and did some work on my goals, and then we took my grandpa to a denture place because he needs new dentures because he has damaged his, but they were only he's got some of his own teeth, and unfortunately he and they couldn't do anything because it was only a dental technician, and the dentist needed a signed thing, so it had been quite difficult to get in there, and he wasn't like himself really, and I was quite worried about him, to be honest, but I didn't want to worry my mum and dad and stuff, so because they were obviously dealing with Gail, because they'd gone up to Aberdeen, and they were spending time with her, so I was really worried about my grandpa as well. He's not doing great. He is actually in 2024 5. If he gets to his birthday, he will be 100 this year. So like, we've had a good. He's had a really good run. But yeah, and he was born in Poland during, like, before World War II. So he has smashed any life expectancy he had ever had. But yeah, I was just really worried about my grandpa. Then Mum was telling me about Gail, and she really wasn't doing very well, and I was just very in my feelings, both about Gail and about my grandpa. I did then manage to do some editing and do some printing of planners and write a couple of book reviews. I then tried to cheer myself up a little bit with some dopamine and Black Friday shopping, Black Friday Cyber Monday shopping, prepping my baskets and stuff. But yeah, I probably spent far too much this Black Friday Cyber Monday, which was this weekend, because I was sad. But oh well, it is what it is. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. And then I finished the day with just doing some odd jobs actually at my mum and dad's house, because they'd left in a rush the day before. On to Thursday, I was at work, but I was really not feeling very well, and I actually ended up coming home and then going for a nap. When Soch got home, we did play some Play Up, but we then discovered that they were withdrawing Gail's treatment, and she was going on to fully end-of-life care. They didn't think she was going to get over her infection. So I've just marked that in, and then, yeah, I was really, really down about it, the whole thing, and absolutely sobbed, especially because Gail was quite confused near the end, and she'd actually said she wanted more life to my mum, and like, that's totally understandable. She was 66, like, she's not old at all. But yeah, and then I finished the day by reading some more of The Secret Society of Irregular, which is I took the Friday off work as well, which is what that heart should be marking at the top of Friday, but I haven't got the script. I just was not in the right headspace. Had a lazy morning at home. Then I discovered a couple advent calendar me and my husband had ordered was digital, not a physical product, and we're pretty sure it didn't say that at the time when we ordered, but we looked on the Trustpilot, and the company have really bad reviews, so there's that. But I was pissed off about it, basically. I think it was just something to focus on that was annoying, that like wasn't super depressing, so I just was focused on that for a little while. Then I started doing some bits of laundry because we really needed to do some, and made some planners. Was reading to Bump when Soch got home from work, and then just had some chill time and rest time. On to Saturday, I slept really badly, so I just marked that in. Then I was making planners, just finishing them off. I think I'd actually said I wasn't going to make any more at this point, but then I decided to. Then I did some foiling and cutting, again for orders, and I was pre-planning 2025 in my bullet journal, like working out what spreads I was going to do and stuff like that. We then read to Bump before we set off to Yorkshire Wildlife Park. We decided to get out the house and go and see it and look around and things, and the lions were so active. So I've actually marked in the lions because I think we saw 5 of 6 of them, which is loads, and they were so active and so, like, yeah, it was really, really cool. Then on the drive home, I read some of the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Unfortunately, I had actually picked this up for the Peaches and Pages book club, which is run by my friend Beth of Beth Plans, but the video call had been on the Thursday, which obviously I hadn't finished reading it because of everything else going on. Then when I came home, I punch and coiled some planners, I cooked with my husband, and then I put together the couple advent I worked on putting that together, as it wasn't a digital version, it was digital rather than physical, for January 1st, December 1st, next day. And then I finished my day by swatching out my Tombos ready for my 2025 setup, which I started filming the following day. So Sunday, I started the day by stickering up my journal, which is where I write my emotionally, feelingy stuff every evening, and I just decorate it to make it pretty, so I'm more likely to use it. Started the day by stickering my journal, then I worked on my 2025 filming setup. I did try it. I initially started filming this in little blocks, but then I did lots of it later in the day. Then I sat and did some goal setting for 2025. I was really low and in my feelings about everything that was going on, so there's that. Then I went for a walk just to get my steps in. I think I was just pacing at home, but yeah. Then did some odd jobs around the house. Then I did lots and lots of my 2025 planner setup to try and distract myself. And then we did some of our new advent things, and that is everything. And you've just seen my leftovers, I believe. So give this video a like, thumbs up, all that kind of thing. Comment down below, all that kind of jazz, and I will see you in the next one, which will be a bit more cheerful, I hope. Thanks for watching. Bye!